All right, Shalawam. First and foremost, let us start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to YAHAWAH, YAHAWASHI, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, the elders of the great millstone, the men that told me this truth. Peace and salutation. Brakathum to all you sincere Akim out there that's laboring in this truth throughout the four corners of the earth. All right, so just news update, going on every day, That's why we got to always be watching and staying on our watch because, prophecy is unfolding, man, and like the Apostle Tahar said, Revelation, the 17th chapter, verse 16 is trending, man. The beast shall hate the whore. And when we say that the beast shall hate the whore, this is talking about, NATO in the EU is going to hate the whore, which is America. All right. And we're seeing that happening right now. OK, this is what we're watching in real time. OK, so I got a news article. This is Germany. It says Germany, right, which is a NATO ally, also joins with Canada and Sweden, right, to send troops to Greenland. All right. And, this right here is showing you that is division right now within NATO. Okay. And it's just going to only escalate. You see, you got Trump on one hand saying that America needs Greenland because of whatever reason, security purposes, things like that, and Greenland right now is not budging. All right. Because why? Greenland is really owned by Denmark, which is also another NATO ally. And the prime minister of Denmark said, listen, you guys try to invade Greenland, then that's the end of NATO. All right. And Trump is not budging. Trump is on the other hand saying that he don't want to hear nothing. No talks, no negotiation, nothing. You know what I'm saying? Just straight up by force, man. Okay, so hey, man, this is this is the time, man. War is in the air, but we also know because of Bible prophecy, another major prophecy has to happen. The mark of the beast, according to Revelation, the 13th chapter, which is the microchip. And that has to be implemented, worldwide, globally, for this thing to really pop off. The Lord said there will be wars and rumors of wars. So right now, things are, it might look like it's going to heat up any moment. But we also know that prophecy of the mark of the beast has to happen first. And then I was just meditating on, it can happen simultaneously. OK, because you got to understand this is the Lord orchestrating this thing, All right. The Lord could have it go any way possible. OK, but we know that we're close. All right. We're seeing soon the demise and the destruction of Babylon the Great. All right. But let me read this article real quick. It says Germany has joined other NATO allies like Sweden, Canada, and the Netherlands to send troops to Greenland as President Donald Trump intensifies his threats to take over the country, man. You see? So you got the troops, man. The troops are out there, man. Okay? And this basically describing Joel, the 3rd chapter. Okay? The multitudes, valley of decision, hey, man, we're in those times, man. All right. It said troops will be deployed to the northern territory this week, according to reports. You see? So, I don't want to read the whole article, but pretty much you got Denmark and Greenland. They're not trying to give up Greenland, man, to the U.S. You see? And that's going to cause friction within NATO, man. All right. And that's beautiful. That's beautiful. So let's real quick because I mentioned Joel, right? Let's get Joel, the 3rd chapter, okay? Because this is definitely the time of war, man. Joel chapter 3, verse 9, it says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, right? The heathen nations. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. You see? And right now, the Lord put the spirit on these other nations, all right? Beginning with their top leaders, all right, to prepare war, man. Okay, whether it's the BRIC nations, okay, NATO nations, war is in the air, all right? You got Russia against Ukraine. And right now, Russia is awfully, they're real quiet, and that's the bear. That's the bear. That's Gog and Magog, man. Okay. And they're going to be a main country that's going to have, they're going to play a major part in World War III on the destruction of America. Okay. The bear. Okay. Gog and Magog, right? Putin is very quiet, but right now they're back and forth. And I read something earlier that I believe one of Russia's biggest oil, I believe, like wherever they at in Russia, they got one of their biggest oil reserves, or it was hit or something by Ukraine. So there's a lot of things going on, man. A lot of things going on as far as war. You got China, Taiwan. You got North Korea, South Korea. There's so much things going on, man. Okay. So we never seen a time like this ever before. Because we're at the end. It says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Right. So it says, let the weak say, I am strong. So nations, like I said, Iran, India, North Korea, these nations at one time were considered weak, in the face of America. But now they're strong. They have that nuclear capability. They have Russia backing them up. Like I said before, you got BRICS. Okay, that whole thing, and that goes back to the prophecy written in Ezekiel the 38th chapter. Okay, where there shall be a guard unto these lesser nations. Okay, so we're seeing things very, very soon brewing up. Is right now is a Cold War, which is eventually is going to heat up. All right, it says, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Right. So the Lord is gathering all these heathen nations in the valley of decision. All right. YAHAWASHI, right now in the Middle East. That's where it's going to kick off at, in the Middle East. You got Israel, you got Iran, you got Syria, you got all these different countries in the Middle East, man. Eventually, America's going to get involved, all right? Because it says the least of the flock shall draw them in, okay? Something that these small hats are going to do, they're going to evolve America into this war, all right? So it's going to only increase, man. You see? So it says, Salaki, and it says, the cause thy mighty ones, which is talking about the angels, man. They're going to come down because it tells you in, Matthew the 12th chapter, there's going to be a war in heaven. Michael and his angels are going to fight against Satan and his angels, which Satan is referring to the so-called white man, all right? Going into these different nations, they're going to stop fighting each other in World War III, and they're going to fight our Lord, okay? They're going to fight our Lord, or they think they're going to fight our Lord. And what the Lord said, he's going to put the spirit on Esau, all right, to thus yet fight. So there's going to be all type of things happening before the coming of our Lord, okay? And it says, let the heathen be wakened, and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, which is YAHAWASHI, Yahweh's judgment, right? For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. And right now is getting to the point of where There's no turning back, man. Okay? Because once you see certain things happen, then you know eventually the missiles are gonna fly, man. All right? Okay, it's so much that these nations are going to be, but it's really in the spirit of the Lord to put the minds on these spirits, because it tells you in Ezekiel the 38th chapter, like I mentioned before, that the Lord says He's going to put a evil thought in the minds of Gog and Magog, man, which are the Russians. To what? To shoot the arrows, to shoot the missiles. All right, here in America, man, to destroy Babylon the Great, destroy this place, man. Okay, so it says, get you down, for the press is full, the fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. Multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. So the Lord is near, man. When we see these things happening right now throughout the earth, we know that our Lord is near, who the world ignorantly calls so-called Jesus, which his name is YAHAWASHI. Okay, the Father YAHAWAH is going to send back in these last days to deliver the elect, okay, out of the nation of Israel, okay, which consists of you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. Those are the only ones that are going to be delivered in Babylon the Great, okay? So we know that the destruction is near. We know that war is near. Let's get that in Revelation, the 11th chapter, right? This is Revelation chapter 11, verse 14. It says the second woe is past, right? What it's talking about when it means the second woe is past, it's talking about World War II, all right, which took place during the late 30s, which is 1939, and it ended in 1945, all right? But unlike the wars that came before and went, all right, this war is going to be fought with nuclear. It's going to be fought with missiles. It's going to be a nuclear war, okay? And that's why they understand that the nations, they know that nobody truly wins, okay? when World War III is established and when it's made and declared, nobody comes out on top, all right? They know that because this thing is nuclear, man. Hypersonic missiles, things like that. This is what this war is going to be fought with. All right, it's going to start off with tanks and drones and all that, and then eventually it's going to go nuclear. All right, so they understand that, and they understand the prophecy too. You think that these higher ups, they don't know the prophecy of America's destruction, but that's why I said the Lord is working on the minds of these top leaders, especially Trump. He's that guy, man, the king of Babylon, man. Right? It says, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. The third woe is talking about World War III, man. All right, and is evident, man. Is approaching, fastly approaching, man. As you don't see what's going on around you, guess what? You are not in the loop. You are definitely out of the loop. You are. The Lord has blinded you, man. Okay, because we're at the end days, man. All right, especially here for this place, America, man. This place is on its way out. Okay, let's get real quick. The book of Job, chapter 18, right? Verse 10. It says, the snare is laid for him in the ground, and a trap for him in the wave. Right. The Lord right now is laying a snare. A snare for who? Esau. Okay. All right. Beginning with the top elites. Okay, Trump, as you see, he's not in control of anything. It's really the elites that's pulling the strings, man. All right, they're the ones that's telling Trump to go here, go into Venezuela, go into Iran, go into, it's not Trump himself. All right, but that's the Lord laying a snare, because he's going to bring forth the World War III. Okay, and that's going to be the end of America. That's going to be America's demise, man. Okay, so the Lord is setting that snare up for Trump. Okay, so it says, terrorists shall make him afraid on every side and shall drive him to his feet. That's why I was saying that so much things are going to be happening throughout them trying to establish their new world order. You're going to have war going on. All right. So things are going to be where it's going to be out of control very soon. You know, just like how you got the elites right now, they thinking that they're able to manipulate and do this and do that, and everybody's just going to bow down to their whole new world order system. No, it's not. It's going to be where, the Lord said it's going to be where it's going to be basically he's not going to have things where he's not going to be able to be successful in his plans. Okay, he's gonna create different scenarios. Okay, that's why it's gonna be where it's gonna be a terrorist where he ain't gonna know what the fuck to do. Okay, and things are gonna just it's gonna be like the domino effect. It's just going once one piece falls, then eventually it's gonna collapse. Everything is gonna collapse, man. Okay. Okay. Oh yeah. He's gonna make a position of difficulty for him, a straight. Where he ain't gonna be able to do the things that he has set up in his plans for a new world order, to have America great again and all that bullshit. The Lord is deceiving this devil. It says his strength shall be hunger bitten, and destruction shall be ready at his side, man. So it's just a matter of time, okay? A matter of time for America's downfall, for this place to crumble. And, just glad to understand this truth, and to understand that, the so-called white man, he has his time to rule, and now we're seeing the end. This is we're seeing the end of our enemies. We're about to witness the fall of our enemies, okay? All right, beginning with the so-called white man, okay, and the other heathen nations, man. Okay, so hey, just continue to pray and call on the name of YAHAWASHI, man, because things are about to heat up. And I was watching earlier how out there in Minnesota they shot a second person, ICE. So you got Trump talking about he's about to send troops up in there. Why? Because he want to declare that insurrection act. You see what I'm saying? So martial law is coming. Oh man, we're in time of Jacob's trouble, man. All type of things is happening right now, man. All right. So hey, man, for you faithful Akim, and you and Akwaf that believe in this truth, keep pushing, keep believing. All right, we almost out of here. So with that, I'm gonna end it by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yashai. Till the next time I say Shalawam.